You could call it brunch at Flushing Meadow today. This is the stadium court, still filling up. The match between Graf and Sanchez Vicario. It was almost as if Steffi couldn't wait to get out there. The #1 seed, 21 years old, 5'9".
2 minutes.
And rolling just about as well as you could expect anyone to roll. Ranked #7, Sanchez Vicario. 18 years old, 5'6", 110. Pat Summerall here with our CBS tennis analyst Tony Trabert and Mary Carrillo. And first to you, Mary, what about Steffi Graf? There have been diversions, there have been distractions. How is she now?
I think she's playing great tennis. This is the best tennis she's shown in all of 1990, Pat. And in the absence of the Wimbledon champion who lost, Martina Navratilova, and Monica Seles, who beat Steffi at the French Open, I have to think she's going to win this. She's supremely confident. She's hitting the ball very, very cleanly. She's disciplined. She's focused. I think in this match today, only Steffi Graf could beat Steffi Graf. I just don't think Arantxa Sanchez Vicario could do it.
What about it, Tony? You think that's a legitimate appraisal?
Actually, I like that appraisal a lot. Sanchez Vicario has been working on her serve and volley. She's going to try to be a little more aggressive, and I think that's just about suicide. I really think the best chance she has, Pat, is to try to move Graf around, keep the ball in play. I would play Graf's backhand an awful lot, though her slice backhand stays down. At least she can't hurt you as much as she can with the forehand. They've played 8 times. Graf has won 7. The only time that Sanchez Vicario lost or won was in the French 2 years ago. So it should be a good match, a fun match. They're both good athletes, but I think Graf will be too much for her.
Well, we've certainly got a break with the weather so far. It was threatening this morning, but right now it looks reasonably encouraging. And Mary, let's look at the road to the finals, or semifinals, I should say, for Steffi Graf.
Well, she had some interesting matchups. She cruised, as you can see. She dropped that middle set to Elna Reinach. That was something of a surprise against the South African. Then regained her form and her confidence against Jennifer Capriati. She had also beaten her at Wimbledon. This one was just an incredible dismissal of the young American. Then she beat Jana Novotná 3-1, and she looked even better in that match, I thought.
And Sanchez Vicario has not lost a set. Steffi lost 1, as you pointed out, Tony.
And she's done an awfully good job. 6-4 is the worst set that she's had played against her. And Garrison, of course, that's not a fair score because Zina was hurt, had an Achilles tendon problem, couldn't really run an attack, so she had to try to stay back and keep the ball in play. That's not her style, so she wasn't 100%. But again, you can't take anything away from that young lady. She's done everything has been called upon to do.
Jane Tabor is the chair umpire. A little bit on the windy side, but not bad at all, considering the forecast of earlier today, which was ominous.
Quiet, please.
You can
Steffi
see
Graf to serve.
the flag stretched out like that.
Play.
There is some wind, and it swirls down on the bottom of this octagonal stadium.
15 love.
Steffi Graf will get it done in a hurry. She's going to get it done if her opponent will allow her to do that.
Love.
Arantxa is the only Sanchez who hasn't had to play John McEnroe in this tournament. Her older brothers, Javier and Emilio, both lost to McEnroe. Arantxa's name now has a Vicario on the end. That's her mother's
30-15
name, which she attached after she won the French Open in 1989.
Here's another look. Her first excursion to the net is a good one. Her approach shot was a slice backhand, stayed down low, and forced Graf to hit the ball up.
That you.
30 all. Very businesslike.
Yeah, she didn't set up as well as I'd like to see her on that overhead. Her feet were still moving when she was hitting the ball, and she had plenty of time, but she did it to perfection, really.
Game Graf.
First game goes to Steffi Graf. He leads 1-love in the first. U.S. Open of 1990. Women's semifinal.
Arantxa
Steffi
Sanchez
Graf.
Vicario to serve.
Sanchez Vicario about to serve. Tony mentioned before the only victory for Sanchez Vicario was in the French Open. Last meeting, Graf won 5-7, 6-love, 6-1 back in May.
The first time she beat Steffi, which was at the French in '89, was the first time she'd ever even taken a set from her.
Of course, the French is on a clay court. That's right. Arantxa's favorite surface and probably Steffi's least favorite.
But this year, as the defender of that title, she lost in the second round to Mercedes Paz of Argentina.
30-15.
30-15. Graf won the first game. First set.
That's Arantxa Sanchez Vicario's parents, and her agent right in the middle, Stephanie Tollefson.
First service.
The Graf family. Father Peter and dark glasses in the middle.
40-30.
That's really a bad error from Graf. She's not trying to do that much with the ball. She's not trying to win the point with it. And as a player of her caliber, you just hate to miss that kind of a shot.
Game Sanchez Vicario. One game all.
Here's another look, and you're going to see what's supposed to be a drop volley. It almost looks like a half lob. It lands deep, very high, and she's a dead duck right there. Sanchez could go any place she wanted with it, so that's what happens when you make a physical error, not pulling off the shot. Then your court's wide open. That's just part of the game.
Love.
If Sanchez Vicario can stay close in this first set, then this can be a tight match. If Steffi runs over early, it could be a very one-sided match, I think. Here's the return. Good racket preparation, and just rifles that ball down the line. Graf didn't even twitch. She was looking for it to come back cross court.
(30-15).
Shooting for her third straight U.S. Open title, Steffi Graf.
(40-15). That forehand is lethal weapon 3.
And that was a good half volley she made. She did something with it, stayed down and placed it well, got a little pace on it. That's good stuff.
40-30.
It obviously helps to be a good athlete. Both these women are good athletes. It's a terrific backhand pass by Graf. Watch Sanchez. Gets over there, fully stretched out, blocks into the open court.
Game Graf.
2-1. Steffi Graf leads in the
Graf
first
leads
set.
2-1.
2-1 Graf in the first set of this semifinal. Sanchez Vicario serving now.
Love the feed.
Right now, let's take you down to John Dockery.
You know, Pat, weather has been a concern here all day. There's thunder showers expected later on, but right down here on the court, there's kind of gusting winds, and it's going right to left. And you may have noticed before Sanchez Vicario's couple of her lobs floated out. That's because of the gusting winds. Back to you, Pat.
15-0.
All right, John, thank you.
So right to left would be from the end Graf is now towards Arantxa. She's a bubbly little gal, isn't she? This Sanchez Vicario. She's really enthusiastic, which is a lot of fun to watch.
15-30.
I like the way she speaks her English, too. It's very exciting to listen to.
It is.
15-40.
She said about this match.
That's a little bit of a different apparatus to hold the ball behind her back.
She's the only one that I know of on the tour that uses that, and the rest of the women stick the ball up under their skirt to hold it.
Game Graf.
Game to Graf.
Graf leads 3-1.
That's what it looks like. That clips over your belt loop. Oh, right there, yeah. They tell us it's become very, very popular in Spain, Europe. More and more in wide use.
I think you should wear one of those. You'd look cute.
I couldn't reach it.
Service break. Graf 3-1 first set.
Sanchez Vicario told us she wanted to get to the net, but I'm sure she'd prefer it on her own terms. She was up there just trying to deflect some Graf shots. She was like a hockey goalie. When you're at the net, you want to be more in command. But it's something that she's really made a good effort to. She really wants to serve and volley more. Mike Estep is the man that she chose to teach her that. He's worked with a lot of fine players, serving volleyers. It must be interesting for Estep to try to be giving Sanchez Vicario a volley game. Mike has he was coaching Hanna Mandlikova till this year's Australian Open. Before that, he coached Martina Navratilova for years. Now he's working with a baseliner. Baseliners tend to have more of a counterpunch mentality.
Well, they start your baseliner basically because you learn to play on clay, and it's a slow, high bounce, harder to put the ball away. So someone like Arantxa can chase a lot of balls down. She has good wheels. She runs well. But here, Graf can overpower. The surface is faster. The bounce a little bit lower.
Yes. 30-40.
That's her first double fault. Steffi Graf is essentially a baseliner as well, but a very different kind, much more the new age baseliner. Hits the ball very, very hard and has that one huge gun, the forehand. So she can stay on the baseline, draw the short ball, and end it.
Not a bad time to come up with a big serve.
It's deuce.
Mary, is there anyone in women's tennis that hits the first serve harder than Steffi?
There's the fastest recorded serve in women's tennis this year was Brenda Schultz, a Dutch woman, 113.
Advantage Graf.
That ball must have hit the paint.
Yeah.
Steffi tends to serve in the 90s. She can really open up her shoulder sometimes and go over 100 as well.
Deuce.
A couple of volleys Graf has missed up there. That one was not that difficult a shot. It is gusty. It's probably the gustiest day we've had, except that one stormy day early last week. Good tough point.
Advantage Graf.
A lot of pressure by Graf.
And she had Arantxa running back and forth, so she really wasn't able to try to get in. I think that's really Arantxa's best chance, is to just track down all the balls she can. Don't try to hit a lot of winners unless you get the short ball to try to attack really what you want, and see if you can extract enough errors from Steffi, because she's hitting the ball hard all the time. She's the one that's really taking the chances most of the time.
Advantage Graf.
Steffi has a very high toss, much higher than you would recommend for anyone, and on a gusty day that can be a problem. See how much that ball falls before she strikes it? Long.
Pretty good net coverage from Sanchez Vicario.
And good hands, good soft hands. When she stretches out for this low forehand volley, she takes some speed off. You see she let that racket head drop back a little bit. Graf did a good job to get to it, but couldn't hit it in the court.
She's a good fighter. Fourth deuce. This is the game that could keep Sanchez Vicario in this first set. A 3-1.
Advantage Graf.
And that's one of those that you hate to miss, because you're not trying to do anything with it. Just try to get it cross court onto Graf's backhand. When you're going for a potential winner, you know, if you happen to miss that, that's okay, because there's a payoff at the other end if you happen to make it.
An aggressive mistake.
Exactly. There's a payoff if it works. This way, even if she gets it in the court, there's no big payoff. Graf leads 4-1, first set.
And we'll be back at the U.S. Open after this word from your local station.
15 love.
4-1 Graf. In the first set of this women's semifinal. Sanchez Vicario serving at 15 love.
There again, that wind from behind Arantxa just carried that ball over the baseline. It's getting stronger and stronger.
Heidi and Peter Graf. Pavel Slozil, her coach, on the end.
He's done a good job, Pavel Slozil, with Graf over the years, and this has been a very tough year for Steffi in many ways. Some personal problems in the family. There's Pavel Slozil. He's a steadying influence. A quiet, nice guy.
Nice to see he's been signed on for another year.
Yep. Two break points for Graf that could really break this first set open, so give her a 5-1 lead if she can get one of these 2 points. And to this point, this is what you'd expect. Graf would overpower Sanchez on this kind of a surface.
Well, that's exactly what she's done.
Graf.
That makes it 5-1 first set.
Graf leads 5-1.
Monica Seles has twice beaten Steffi Graf. This year, Zina Garrison beat her at Wimbledon. And that's it for 1990.
Seles beat her in the finals of the French.
And in the finals of Berlin.
Prior to the French, wasn't it?
Yeah, the German. A remarkable thing happened at that when East Germany they had opened up the borders, and there were a bunch of East Germans in the stands, and they had never gotten to see Graf play before. And of course, she lost to Seles for the first time. And the mayor of Germany, in the award ceremony, said, "You haven't seen the real Steffi," and the mayor got booed. The mayor of Berlin, I should say, of West Berlin, said, "This isn't the real Steffi," because she really didn't have a great day out on the court. And his words were booed throughout the stands. And Steffi was very gracious and said that Seles just played better.
Is the mayor up for re-election?
It was something.
40 love.
You know, Germany doesn't want, some guy to be apologizing for Steffi Graf. She's such a great champion, and she's got her first set point.
Game, first set Graf, 6
She
games
hits it
to
pretty
1.
hard.
New ball.
She wins the first set 6-1.
Thank you.
Graf has won the first set 6-1. Sanchez Vicario will serve.
Seeing Chrissy's face there in that commercial makes you sort of miss her. She's been here just a tradition. First year she has not competed in this Open for quite a while.
Seems odd without her and Jimmy Connor.
Right.
Love 15.
Sanchez Vicario has still only won 6 points on her own serve. She's been broken twice.
She's got good spin on her serve, but it sits up on this kind of a court. And once Graf gets on to one good solid shot, Arantxa is on the defensive, on the run. Terrific depth on that approach. An underspin forehand, which you don't see Graf do very often. Right here, she's coming up. She takes the racket head up, goes underneath the ball just a little, but hits it just inches inside the baseline and gets this relatively easy smash.
Oh! 10 straight points for Graf. You mentioned Chris Evert, Tony.
Love 40.
Graf's dismissal of Capriati on Monday of this week. Didn't it remind you of how Chris Evert had one more great match in her last year on this court when she beat Monica Seles?
Yep.
That was supposed to be the same kind of great matchup. You know, the old against the young. And
15.
She wasn't ready to go quietly.
No, she ended up losing to Zina Garrison here last year. She didn't lose on that day.
These are 2 break points still left for Graf. First game of the second set.
(30-40).
Still break point.
2 sort of veterans playing out here. Steffi's ripe old age of 21 and Arantxa's 18. It's amazing the poise they have at such a young age.
Game Graf. First
So
game,
Graf
second
wins the
set.
first game of the second set. She won the first one 6-1.
Our game sites.
She's already won the first point of this game. That was their second serve on this point.
The drop shot got Graf in trouble, put her on the defensive, and then this ball hitting the top of the net was a cinch.
So it's 15 all.
Tough spot to come in from where Sanchez Vicario was. She was moving to her right. Her momentum taking her to the sideline. She tried to block that ball and come on in the net. She couldn't get into a decent position at all.
Pretty good way to stop someone cold. And once again, for the second time in this match, we've seen Steffi not even try to go after a big return.
I think it fooled her. Again, she's looking for the ball to come back cross court.
She wanted a call early in that rally and didn't get it.
40-30.
The last game of the first set, she thought she got a bad call back there as well. Here's what she thought about it. She missed that one.
She was right on the line, right on the line.
Jane Tabor in the chair was trying to tell her it was right on the line.
I don't think she bought that.
Players see with their hearts a lot, not always with their eyes.
Game Graf.
Game to Graf.
Boy, it's constant pressure.
Graf leads 2 games to love.
Right now, let's go down again to John Dockery.
Yes, if you look closely, Pat, at Sanchez Vicario, her left ankle, you'll see an ankle support on there, and at times you'll see her limping ever so slightly. She told me yesterday the ankle was fine. She hurt it a little over a month ago, some ligament damage, but you can see the support, so it's on her mind. Back to you, guys.
That was at the Federation Cup. She was playing Natalia Zvereva, Spain against the Soviet Union. And early in the second set, she rolled over on it. Had to
15
retire.
love.
Actually, she was treated for about 5 minutes and tried to play on and just couldn't.
There's the draw, how both of these two advanced to the semifinals.
Started with 128. You're down to 4.
Interesting that they're all baseliners on this hard court.
30 love.
Later today, the other women's semifinal. Sabatini against Fernandez. And also coverage of the men's doubles championship, featuring Peter Aldridge and Donnie Visser against Paul Annacone and David Wheaton.
We've seen baseliners beat Steffi Graf in the past. Arantxa herself has, Monica Seles has, Sabatini has. The trick is to make her hit one more winner, you know, to keep spitting the balls back at her until she overhits them or misses. Not easy. Some nice aggression there from Sanchez Vicario.
40-15.
Graf having good luck when she goes to net. She's been there 18 times and won 15 of them. But that's because she comes in behind good shots.
Sanchez Vicario.
Sanchez Vicario wins the game.
Graf leads 2 games to 1.
And serve coming up, first point of this game. Double fault.
Love 15.
That's her second double fault, Steffi Graf.
I get the feeling she's trying to get out of the rain. She's going to start making some errors because she's trying to force a play a little bit.
Of course, she plays at such a rapid pace anyway. We keep talking about it. She's out on those court changes well before Arantxa is. 39 minutes. The first set only took 25 minutes.
Graf is up 2-1 in this set, the second.
That includes a break, of course.
Ooh.
That's textbook. When Graf got that backhand down the line, she knew that Arantxa would arrive late. She could only go back down the line with it. She was waiting for it.
Game Graf.
Game to Graf.
Graf leads 3 games to 1.
I think everyone knows that that Graf injured her thumb earlier this year. Then she only played 2 tournaments before she got to the French. Really was not tournament tough at all. Then she played no tennis until Wimbledon. Still no more matches under her belt. And she has since played enough tennis, and that's why I felt that she would do so well here.
Would you call that a Steffi Graf?
I would say, oh, okay.
First service.
Been ranked #1 for more weeks than anybody in the history of the game. At least open tennis.
Love.
She was honored here on Monday for that accomplishment. And if she continues to roll as she is at the moment, that record will just be extended.
Smart play by Graf that time.
15-all.
Short angle backhand to the two-hander of Sanchez Vicario. Stretched her out. She couldn't do much with it. Right here, this one stretches her out. She's out of position and couldn't recover.
Oh. 15-30.
Two break points. Again, this could really set things up for Graf. Would give her 2 breaks in the second set if she can get one of these 2 points.
Game Graf.
Game to Graf.
Graf leads 4 games
she
to 1.
leads 4-1 in the second set. She won the set. She won the first. Steffi Graf, 6-1 in the first, leads 4-1 and serving in the second. Pat Summerall with Mary Carrillo and Tony Traber.
Graf's already, sorry, Pat, excuse me.
This was the women's semifinal at the stadium. Go ahead.
15 love.
Graf's already broken Sanchez 4 times. And Arantxa had only been broken 8 times in her 5 previous matches. So you can see what she's doing to her on the serve. And Sanchez not winning much, 13 out of 32 on her own serve, so
30 love.
struggling.
Second ace by Steffi.
Love. .40-15. .30.
It was documented after Wimbledon, Steffi had a little operation on her sinus passages, and they found that the one side was completely blocked. And she'd been going through that for a couple of years, so she feels 100% better physically.
Especially at the French Open. Her allergies really kicked up there. Paris springtime.
Good play by Sanchez Vicario, who sort of sneaked in that last point. And when Steffi looked up, she was making a forehand volley.
Gotten it back to deuce.
Advantage Graf. Gain Graf.
5-1.
Graf
Graf.
leads 5 games to 1.
With 2 big serves.
You know, she's already won a Grand Slam title this year. She won the Australian back in January over Mary Jo Fernandez, but she did not play anywhere near this good. This is by far her best tennis in over a year.
15 love.
I think it's partly because she does have the matches under her belt, but this is her best surface. Good footing, true bounce. She has somewhat late preparation, and on grass where you get some funny bounces, she makes more mistakes.
15 all.
She really does have an unusual body-to-ball point of contact. It's really to her side. And you're right, on clay it can slide away from her. On grass it can slip under her. Kick up high on clay, I should say. An honest, true surface gives you a pretty good look at the ball.
Missed it.
30-15.
But because of this surface, I mean, the reason why there's only 3 of the top 100 women who didn't enter this draw and 10 of the top 100 guys, because it is such a true surface. It favors the attacker or the defender. Everyone feels they can win here.
Match 50 minutes old now.
Oh. 40-30.
We're live on the stadium court
Game Sanchez
at the
Vicario.
USTA's National Tennis Center. Women's semifinal.
Graf leads 5 games to 2.
Steffi Graf leads 5-2 in the second set. She won the first set 6-1.
Very workmanlike job by the defending champion, 2-time champion Steffi Graf. She goes about her business, whether she makes the point or loses it. She's ready to go again. That's her nature. She's been playing very solid, powerful tennis.
The #1 ranking was sort of up for grabs coming into the U.S. Open. As I said, Steffi had won the Australian. Monica Seles took the French Open. Martina Navratilova took Wimbledon. So it seemed that this might decide it all. You know, give one player 2 slams. I got to figure Steffi could do that.
Still to come later on today.
I have to talk to her, but I'll get around it.
The other women's semifinal, Mary Jo Fernandez against
Time.
Gabriela Sabatini. And also coverage of the men's doubles championship. Aldridge and Visser against Wheaton and Anacone, the Americans. That'll all be after a half-hour break for local news after this match is concluded.
First service.
Graf serving at 5-2.
And been serving well because she's only faced 1 break point today and has only lost 6 points on her serve in this set. Completely dominating young lady from Spain.
15 love. 30 love.
I think we don't talk enough about how well Steffi covers court. She really is strong. She moves well. She got to that ball very quickly so she could get it higher on the bounce.
What is it that she doesn't do well?
She's #1 in the world.
Oh, 40 love.
40 love. Match point.
3 of them.
Game, set, a match draw. 6-1, 6-2.
6-1, 6-2 in 54 minutes. Steffi Graf advances one more time to the final. Pretty impressive. Right now, let's go to Tim Ryan.
Thank you, Pat. Impressive indeed. In fact, we're now back to talking about how long it takes her to complete a match. Her average time, as they told you during the match coverage, 60 minutes here during the U.S. Open. Today, 54 minutes, so she beat her own time. And Graf over Sanchez Vicario in a semifinal, 6-1 and 6-2. She now awaits the winner of Gabriela Sabatini and Mary Jo Fernandez from Miami, Florida. That's coming up later this afternoon on our coverage of this U.S. Open women's semifinal day. So join us in 1/2 hour from now when we'll have more tennis. You will see, of course, Sabatini and Mary Jo Fernandez, and also coverage of the men's doubles championship. That should be entertaining and exciting for our entire CBS Sports announce crew. I'm Tim Ryan saying so long from the National Tennis Center. 5 years ago, Mary Jo Fernandez was the youngest player ever to win a match at the U.S. Open. Today, at age 19, she's in the semifinals. Gabriela Sabatini is making her 3rd straight semifinal appearance. She's also looking for her first Grand Slam breakthrough. Doubles is often the social game you like to slip into your schedule, perhaps on skates. Today, we've got the men's doubles final on the stadium hard court at the U.S. Open on CBS Sports. Welcome back to the USTA National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. The weather has been threatening all morning long, but so far, so good. Indeed, brighter skies. Look at the blue. It's up to 84 degrees. Still forecasting possible showers, but the player's eye view of that sky looks promising indeed. Hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan, and coming up, Mary Jo Fernandez from Miami, Florida against Gabriela Sabatini of Argentina in the 2nd women's semifinal. And the winner there will meet Steffi Graf, the defending champion. Earlier today, here on CBS Sports, you saw her defeat Arantxa Sanchez Vicario of Spain. It was almost a routine performance for Graf. She won the first set 6-1 in just 26 minutes, continued to roll in the second. Despite the efforts from the baseline by Arantxa, it was all Steffi. She showed every aspect of her game and told us afterwards she didn't think she could play it any better. Served well, volleyed when she had to, hit those enormous baseline shots, and covered the court like a blanket. 6-1 and 6-2 for Steffi Graf.
30 love.
And she will await the winner of the Sabatini-Fernandez match. Right now, we are in the process of determining our men's doubles champions on this championship weekend at the U.S. Open. Peter Aldrich and Donnie Visser of South Africa are seated 2nd. They're being challenged on the court by the American team of Paul Annacone and David Wheaton. Pat Summerall, Tony Trabert, and Mary Carrillo will pick up that action for you from courtside as the 1990 United States Open Tennis Championships continue. Live from New York, here on CBS Sports.
CBS Sports coverage of the United States Open Tennis Championships is sponsored by Perrier, Earth's first soft drink. Pizza Hut, home of pan pizza that's winning the hearts of America. Pizza Hut, making it great. And by IBM, whatever your size, whatever your needs, IBM is working to bring you the best solutions.
IBM is taking the personal computer where it's never been, bringing you a remarkably affordable computer with the power you need to bring work home. Yet it's also exceedingly easy to learn and easy to use. At last, a computer for the whole family with popular options already included. The IBM PS1, a new kind of computer, the kind you've been waiting for all along. With PS1, IBM brings it all home.
In the beginning, there's the luxury of just sitting still in the Infiniti Q45. Time enough to consider the numbers. 278 horsepower, 4.5-liter V8 engine. Then those numbers are translated into 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds. At which point you only have time to consider that wow is an involuntary reaction of pure pleasure.
As parents, we'd all like to believe that our children will grow up and go through life untouched by drugs. But unfortunately, the odds are stacked against us. 1 in 2 high school seniors tries illicit drugs, and up to 20% use them on a regular basis. 1 in 5 10th graders experiments with marijuana. And weekly cocaine use is now being detected in 6th grade students. But the numbers aren't all bad. Recent studies have shown that students who are able to talk about their problems with their parents are twice as likely to say no to drugs and alcohol. Indeed, communication is the key to beating the odds. We're in a must-win situation, and we're all in it together.
Back at the stadium court where we have certainly, as Tim Ryan was saying a minute ago, we've certainly got a break with the weather. The forecast this morning was doomed, but it's turned to be bright and sunny. Aldridge and Visser in the men's final in the near court. Aldridge in the hat, Visser the left-hander against the American team of Annacone and Wheaton. Peter Aldridge, 25 years old. In fact, can you just tell me it's his birthday? He's wearing the hat.
Today is his birthday.
Annacone and his partner Wheaton. That's Donnie Visser, 29 years old, 5'11", 175. South Africans both.
It could be confusing, but they're both co-ranked 3 in the world in doubles. It's a doubles ranking. They'd have their own separate computer for men's doubles and women's doubles. One of the very best teams.
Sorry, Visser used to be ranked about 70th in singles, but he's having back problems. And he elected to concentrate on doubles and sort of bag the singles, so his singles ranking has gone way down. But they've done an awfully good job in doubles.
Annacone, 27, 6'1", 175, lives on Long Island.
30-40.
In the Hamptons. And his partner David Wheaton, 21, 6'3", 178, from Excelsior, Minnesota. They were not seeded.
Game Aldridge-Visser.
Aldridge and Visser was seeded number 2. And they're living up to that seed and their reputation.
Live on stage.
Sign on your right, that plexiglass sign is a replacement for the one that John McEnroe broke earlier last week. But you'll be seeing more of him tomorrow. What magnificent tennis he's played throughout this tournament.
15 love.
Just to recap this first set, the South Africans, Aldridge and Visser, broke Wheaton for a 2-1 lead, and then Visser was down love 40, saved 4 break points, and finally held serve. Then he broke Annacone. So
15 all.
Donnie Visser serving at 4-1 with 2 breaks. They consider Visser to be the better server of the two, so they like to have him starting off serving in a match.
Is that because he's left-handed?
Well, no, not necessarily, but what they also try to do is is served, so neither one of them have to face the sun.
30-15.
That's the advantage of a lefty and a righty. One of the advantages.
I do think that Donnie Visser has the best serve on the court. It's a real tough, biting lefty serve.
I'm very
can swing it.
grateful every time I face the sun. Every day.
40-15.
Mary, though it's early, you talk about how well Visser serves. He's serving at 90% right now. Of course, that's important in doubles. You had a lot of first serves in, get in close and back it up well.
Game, Aldrich Visser. Aldrich Visser leads 5-1.
You know, it's interesting because we always say so much that you've got to be getting a lot of first serves in doubles. Paul Annacone was explaining.
Please,
I asked him yesterday why he thought so many of the seeds were gone from this draw. What Paul Annacone said was that with the way racket technology has gone and the way guys are just thumping balls, big serves, big returns, a lot of the art has gone out of the game of doubles. So have a look at that point. Visser trying to hoist up the lob. Wheaton on it with the smash. What he said these days in doubles, he says, I tell David Wheaton, just go for it. Just serve hard, first and second serve. He said you can't afford not to these days with the big